Hi, Matthew. Hi, Matt. How you doing today? Pretty good? Oh, that's good. I'm doing good too. Today I'll just be asking you some questions about this year's hockey season, the 1920 season. I know it was cut short, but there still are some things to talk about. And we'll start off with Alexander Ovechkin. What are your thoughts on him passing potentially Wayne Gretzky in all-time goals? Okay, yeah. Personally, I really like Alexander Ovechkin. He's a really great player. I just love when he does those one-timer goals. They're amazing. Personally, I think he's definitely going to beat Gretzky, though. Because the last 3 seasons, he scored 49 goals, 51 goals, and this year, 48 goals. But this year was also cut short, so he was probably going to hit the 50 mark this year. He's less than 200 away from Gretzky, so if he keeps on the pace of 50 goals a season, it might only take 4 seasons, which seems like a lot for him, but he's already been playing 15. And the fact that he's still doing really good right now is actually really going to help him, right? Because usually at these guys, they're past their prime and they're not going to be able to play as good near the end of their career. But he's still, he's even better than he was about 5 years ago. So I think he's going to pass him. Okay, well, that's very interesting. I didn't realize he was actually that close. Only 4 more seasons, then he could pass him. Well, that's a different side of it for sure. Next, we'll be talking about the rookies. So what do you think about the rookies this year, like Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes? Who do you think's gonna get the Rookie of the Year, the Calder? Yeah, the race is gonna be really tight this year, but like it always is. But there's a lot of great rookies this season. You got Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar. I think it's gonna be between them. But you also have Nick Suzuki for the Montreal Canadiens, or you have Victor Olofsson for the Buffalo Sabres. And even Dominic Kubalak in Chicago has been putting up a lot of goals. I think he had 38 goals or something, really close to 40 goals, which is quite amazing for a rookie. But you also got goalies like Igor Shesterkin and Elvis Merzlikins, and Merzlikins was kind of amazing this year. So you got a lot of great rookies, but I think it's going to be definitely between Quinn Hughes or Cale Makar. In my opinion, I think it's going to be Cale Makar because Cale had 12 goals, Quinn only had 8. But Quinn did lead in points. He has 53, but Cale's only 3 behind him with 50. And Cale's played 11 less games because of an injury, so I think it should be Cale. But there are a lot of people that go for Quinn, and sometimes, doesn't really matter what I think. So, yeah, it'll be very interesting. Okay. Okay, so now I want to talk about one of your favorite teams, the Winnipeg Jets, or if maybe your favorite. Is there any specific player you want to talk about, or just how the team did this year? Yeah, Winnipeg is my favorite, if you can tell from my hat, and I am wearing the jersey. So, yeah, they've been having a pretty good season. Not the greatest, but not too bad either. But I am going to talk about a certain player. We're talking about Kyle Connor. He's actually been quite amazing this year. I'd say he was the best on the team this year. Scheifele was pretty good, but he did have a couple off weeks where he was kind of not putting that many points. But Kyle Connor, he seemed consistent throughout the whole season. Also, he did break his record for most goals. He has 38 right now. He's very close to 40, which would be really cool if he hit 40, because not very many Jets have hit 40 goals. So the points he's put up this year are pretty good. He has 66 points, I believe. Scheifele has 73. So he's not too far behind Scheifele. And I think he's only going to get better. So that's really all I have to say about the Jets. Yeah, I've heard lots about Kyle Connor this year. The points he's been putting up, I think he's kind of a little bit underrated. I agree with you with that, yeah. Okay, so now the last question we're going to ask you for today is, what do you think about the NHL pausing the season? How will it affect the NHL in the future or the end of this season? Do you think it'll continue? Do you think eventually they'll start playing again? Yeah, I was really disappointed when the NHL paused the league, but most hockey fans were, and most sports fans were, because all of the leagues were basically canceled. But for the NHL, I'm not quite sure what they could do. Like, depends on how much longer this is going to go on, right? Like, say it's done by July, right? Then they could start a playoffs, and it could go till the end of August, potentially, depending on how many teams they have in the playoffs. They just might have to play, like, every other day kind of thing. But then if it gets worse and not till August or September where they start playing again, then potentially they might have to shorten next season. Or there's always an option where they could just cancel the playoffs and just start next season. But a lot of players might not like that because they play to play in the playoffs. They play in the season because they want to try and win the Stanley Cup. Plus, I'm sure a lot of fans won't be so happy if there is no Stanley Cup this year. But we'll have to see. It's all about how long this virus will last. So, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. We really don't know much right now. But yeah, hopefully in a couple months they'll start playing again. Yeah. Thank you, Matthew. We really enjoyed you answering some questions for us today. And hopefully we can talk to you again in the future. Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, for sure I'll come back. I always like talking about hockey, especially in these interviews. Thanks.